Yeah, that's everybody. Welcome, Philipp.
Cheers, guys. Good morning. Good morning. 11. It's 12 o'clock. It's a Berlin morning. Let's just stick with that. I hope everybody's well. We're going to chat a bit about today why startups die, in my honest opinion, and what you can do to avoid it. And the intent is really that I don't know always what's really valuable for you. So I invite you, please, to make this session as valuable as possible. We're going to go through a little bit of Q&A as well. And I'm going to ask you guys a couple of questions to start off with. So just make this work for you and make it valuable. So quick one, we're going to do a quick introduction. We're going to talk a little bit about why the wrong questions at the wrong time killing most startups. And then we go into Q&A and support. So what I like to understand now is who in this room is currently targeting consumers with their idea? By the show of hands. Loads of consumer stuff. A lot, okay, that's great. Who of you guys is targeting companies? B2B stuff. Amazing, okay, very, very good. Now, you're gonna see in a second, I'm a B2B guy. I help mostly with B2B companies, scale-ups, etc., and incubation. The stuff that we're gonna discuss here is equally valuable for B2B focus as well as B2C focus because we all deal with people, okay? And you can use the tools that I provide you guys for both segments. Who has already user talks done? Who has spoken to their customer? This is great, okay? I hope by Tuesday all the hands are up because it's gonna be flippin' important. Next question is, who has user talks lined up or is having something coming up? That's surprising a little. I hope we're going to change that today. So what we're going to talk about today is how to make those user talks as valuable as possible for you guys and actually get the right information. Why do I know about this? Maybe a quick introduction for me. My name is Philipp. I'm 30 years old, originally Northern German. Spent most of my adult life not in Germany. I moved abroad when I was 21 just for work. Spent time in Copenhagen working for Schindler, then moved to Dublin for Google. Before it was cool, actually, pre-Facebook IPO, huge fun. Only 1,000 people. I left when Google had 3,000 people 2 years later in Dublin, which was insane. Later on, moved on to Bootstrap Comics, which was the big business, the one that made it after a couple of failures. It was a B2B sales enablement platform. We combined B2B outbound prospecting, so LinkedIn, email, all that stuff. Before everybody did it in 2018. Together with sales training, CRM implementation, we bootstrapped this to 18 million ARR. No other people in the cap table besides us founders. Was huge fun. 6.5 million EBITDA, dream story, sold to private equity in 2022. Loaded loads of debt on the business, couldn't execute against the debt and had to file for insolvency 2024. So I know a bit about taking wrong assumptions, I know a bit about taking the right assumptions, and I know a bit about building teams, executing on them, and also downsizing once you ever get to that. I'm married with my wife Kira. We live between South Africa, Cape Town, and Berlin these days. And what I do after my exiting from the business last year is mostly I invest, I mentor ventures, incubation to scale. My latest venture I did together with Fabian from MVP. I'm involved with the guys as well. I'm part of the founding investors of the NGO venture that we've built. And in my free time, absolutely love water. If you go to Prinsenbad, meet me there. Or if you want to go for a surf, let me know. And I'm a music head. So if you guys want to exchange on records, always happy to do so. And my personal driver is that I really believe in people. So I come from a volatile background financially, and the biggest blessing for me was that I knew I could get myself out of there. And I believe that every person can do that, every person has potential. And I'm really, really happy to connect and hear about your potential and your future, if you guys want to. So let's get into the fun topics. Why your company might die. And because I don't know everything, I want to ask you, why do companies die? Why do startups die? Over here, Red, sir.
I have experience because last year I was a startup. We were doing consulting services. We were 47 people and we have to take the decision to close it and start other people. Why? First, because we didn't manage to do the cash flow and we didn't think about we need first the money in our banks to get contract people.
Yes.
Second, investors. We try to raise money and some of the investors say, yes, we are going to support you, blah, 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 but the money never comes to our account.
Yes.
Then dealing with the investors and the customers, you need to know that before you contract or something or you are managing the The most important thing in a startup is the money, is the cash flow. Because if you don't manage it well and you don't manage the finance well, you will not have money to pay your customers, to pay your employees, to pay to the platform infrastructure. That was our problem. That's my experience. We learned much about that.
I agree with everything you say. Let's collect a couple more over there.
Found a misunderstanding.
What do you mean?
Yeah, so when you start with false people or you have not aligned before you start,
Yes.
the most common way to fail.
I agree. Anything else that hasn't been said? Yes, over here.
I think for the very early stages, of course, if you try to solve a problem that's not there, I think that would be the very first. And then once you have validated that, okay, then it's about founders and cash flow.
Love it. Yes, I agree. Over there.
Getting enough to much of your solution and not broken.
Yes. Really like that. We're going to get back to that. One more.
Entering the market without prior research and ads.
Yes. Love all of this. And you're going to see I kind of anticipated a couple of the normal, responses that come, right? So maybe we have a bad product, poor team was mentioned, no funding, cash flow issues. And this is all absolutely correct. You're absolutely right, and that's something you have to watch out for. What I invite you guys to do today is zooming out a little bit and wonder about the why behind those common reasons why companies fail. And the way that I would describe it, and I've been into that like a ton of times, because if you do something ever successful, you're also going to make loads of mistakes, you're going to have loads of errors, is that, in my opinion, it's the false positives that kill your company the quickest. Anybody know what a false positive is? Anybody wants to explain? No? So a false, yes? No?
Yeah, it's more of like you think it's the right approach, but end up the it's actually not.
Yes. It's basically your interpretation is positive towards your direction, but the background is just not accurate, right? It's the user that says, I love the idea, and I hear I love the idea 50 times, and then nobody buys, right? It's the 2 months getting very, very excited about one specific approach, one specific channel, one specific person on the team, and then realizing, oh shit, my assumptions were just off. Okay, it's just not right. And what happens is, and some of you guys have maybe been through this route, right? I hope for you guys, I'm going to get into this in a second, that the reality set in is coming as early as possible for you guys, because it always happens. There's no plain vanilla ride. There has to be a reality set in at some point when you have ideas. But what I want to talk about is basically just some very, very basic concept of what actually makes success. So any success is just the sum of decisions we make. And you guys define your founders, right? You guys define your success for yourself. But in order to get there, you need to take certain steps and action. And the more your actions get you towards your success, the more likely it is. And those decisions is just based on the information we receive or we source proactively. Does it make sense? It's your job to source that information so you can make decisions. Now, the quality of decisions you make depends on the quality of the information you receive. And information quality is something you should be super, super, super wary about. Because not every feedback is, equal. Now, when you have poor information, you take the wrong turn. And wrong turns, pardon my French, are fucking expensive. Specifically, if you do not have any cash flow at hand, you're waiting for funding, wrong turns can kill your business. And they are expensive because it costs resources, time. If you have the false information, you have wasted month and dead runway. So what I'm trying to speak to you about today and what I'm trying to get you guys with the book I'm recommending just now is basically how to get to reality sets in as quickly as possible, ideally almost here, right? Ideally, you start with the reality. And then once the reality sets in, how you can shrink this part here, because it takes your resources, your time, eventually your money, to as minimum as possible, but as much as it needs to be viable, if that makes sense, right? That's the game. Because everything else is going to sink your idea and business. Okay? So, name of the game is getting the right information ASAP and avoiding false positives, right? And avoiding false positives also means that we want to avoid getting too excited too early and seek for this positive reinforcement, right? We want to avoid that social media trap that gives us exactly what we want in that moment. That's the real world, okay? You don't want that the whole time. You want to find as much surprises, potentially negative surprises, as quickly as possible, because then you know them, okay? So what can you do about that? That's the book that literally saved my life. Maybe you guys had seen this before. Maybe not. It's called The Mom Test. It's very affordable. It's talking about how to talk to customers and learn if your business is a great idea if everyone is lying to you. And it's called The Mom Test because if your validation of your business idea is somebody you really like your mom or your dad or your friend or spouse, right? They're going to like you so much, they're going to validate your idea because they're good people, and then you have a false positive, potentially, right? So what does the Mom Test talk about? Your first job, specifically now, during the phase you're entering, is that you are a truth-seeking machine. Over the next 48 to 72 hours, it's all about truth-seeking, 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 and challenging your own perception of what might be true or what might not. Avoiding praise, avoiding validation, and find the answers that make you feel really, really uncomfortable. Find that stuff where you hear like, oh, if the user thinks this, it's going to be very tough. Then you're on the right track, okay? If you never hear this, I would be worried. The second part is, we heard that before, super, super nice comment. You are supposed to become customer obsessed instead of solution obsessed. And what does that mean? There's one blank truth, and I hope you heard it before, but otherwise you hear it from me. Nobody fucking cares about your idea or your product. But everybody cares about their own problem being solved, right? We're humans, we have problems, we go out in the world, we might be interested in cool tech solutions, yada, yada, but most people just go about their day and try to find solutions to make their life a tiny, tiny bit less miserable, right? That's basically life. And if you guys become the customer-obsessed person, you understand that. You know the struggle of each person you want to talk to, okay? And then the other part is, for the people who are lined up with customers already, who want to line up customer calls, is that please, 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 also selling, we heard about selling yesterday, important, but each call is also a learning event. Treat each interaction with every prospective customer you talk to as a learning event, right? Takes a lot of pressure off. You always can win. You always seek information, right? And that means using open-ended questions. Treat each call as a learning event. The only feedback that's real positive is actually cash, to be honest. Like, I don't care about, yeah, so 5 people said it's super cool. Like, yeah, I don't care. You know, you need letter of intents. You need purchases, right? You need trials. That's the one you can really bank as positive feedback. Right? Verbal positive feedback is, you know, that's cool, feels good, doesn't make you successful. All right? Not the words. Okay, so what are we going to do about this? I really recommend you guys to create some kick-ass user interviews. If you guys have already user interviews, you can use the Mom Test. It's available on Kindle. For the guys who understand, you know, it's a hackathon, we only have 7 days, so I created a GPT with this barcode scanner that helps you guys, based on your business idea, to create some question catalogs. It might be a bit buggy, then please refresh, check the cache, but just start chatting through this GPT, please. Get your user interviews set up now. If you guys find something in there that is not part of your questions catalog, please use it. If you see that your question catalog for your user interviews is already like that, well done, okay? And then the next thing is, for those guys who had their hands down, no user interviews lined up, I really recommend you guys to start doing this right now. And that means for B2B or B2C, both social media, get to the guys, DM, and start chatting to them. Identify them, spend time with them. Today, okay? We have, in case you guys have questions, I have office hours. You can find my calendar link under this barcode. I think I shared it also on WhatsApp. I'm going to be here on Monday between noon and 4. You guys can chat to me about anything, of course, with user validation, but also love go-to-market, anything sales, anything buying center for the B2B guys. Please come see me. I've seen across, I think, 50 industries, around 1,000 plus go-to-market setups, and target groups really matter. So please come see me and chat to me about that. If you guys need any help, I'm happy to support. So much for Q&A and support. And I would like to maybe start with If guys are willing to share their target group with me and are currently a little bit curious about what questions to ask, we can do a live session here right now. If you guys want to tell me about your target group, this would be one idea. Of course, all other questions, welcome if you have any. Thanks so much, guys.
So, which team wants to start? Don't be shy. Yeah? You want to come? Yeah. Perfect.
I think I have a very classic problem. So just a quick reminder, I want to build a personal development app as a personal coach in your pocket. And my basic assumption is that it could be anyone. So maybe you can help me to narrow it down into a more specific target group.
Right. So I think that's basically about target group choice. So I think the best, let's put it this way, the best chances of your company getting traction, succeeding early is a very, very clear defined target group choice. And the target group choice is ideally in the way that helps you the most, which means you can apply a couple of filters here. It's a target group ideally you have access to directly, so you can get feedback quickly and your cost of interaction with them is rather low, right? So direct access to target group matters. The second part is ideally you don't want them to be non-liquid. It's a very, very politically incorrect term, but selling to the poor is very, very hard. So ideally you choose a target group that is affluent in a way that they can afford your product. And the third thing is you navigate towards the target group that you can most profitably sell into based on your requisites of the product, right? So this is access, but also the liquid, but you can also see that the problem is imminent and hard enough for them at the moment, so they're actually willing to take the conversion. So from a conceptual perspective, in your case, I think, so let's say personal development, what comes to mind is like, okay, so this would be people who really struggle by not getting ahead. Who would that be? Do you have access to them and are they affluent, right?
I'm thinking about code students who are trying to start their own business.
I think it's not a bad approach. You would have access.
I think I have access to them.
Yeah, exactly. No, so I think that's exactly the path how to define it, right? So it's like university students of a specific grade in a specific demographic who want to get ahead, and for that target group you start to validate now. For example, yeah, if it's the right one, I cannot tell you. You have to find out for yourself because nobody can anticipate that.
Okay, thank you very much.
No worries.